If everybody can just make sure they're muted for now so that way. Okay, so we're already recording. All right, cool. Thank you everybody for being on the team call today. I am really excited to kick off February on a Monday. Like, is anybody else like excited that a Monday and it's a fresh month and it just feels like a completely blank slate to start. So I'm really excited for that. Mindy has got an awesome training for us on TEAMZY, which is an application that you can use to track your business as far as your invites, your connecting, and your clients, your coaches, all of that. She'll get into all that, but it's something I personally have been using for a couple of years. It's super easy to use on your phone and just like was a game changer for me staying organized and making sure I followed up. So I'm really excited for her to share that with you. But before we dive into that, I wanted to share my screen because I share this in the team every month, and I have been for, I don't know, gosh, 6 or 7 months now. I think I've been making a new graphic. But this has all the important dates, and I want to make it very clear, you guys, that this is team-wide. Like the dates that you see here, whether you're my personally sponsored coach or not, this is open to the entire team. So you absolutely can invite to the challenge groups that I have listed on here. We want you to be a part of the Push to Emerald call. The team calls, obviously, we want you to be a part of the coaching event. We want you to participate in those. Mindy and I started a couple months ago already doing a free 5-day challenge group that is open to everyone. And I know a couple of you have actually reached out and want to help lead that group, which is amazing. We greatly appreciate your help, and it just makes it more fun when more people get involved and kind of step up to lead those positions. And it gives different perspective for our people. And when you're inviting people to those events and you're participating in them, they see you as a leader and that you're providing value and that you're not just showing up in a group that somebody else that they don't even know is leading. Okay. So remember that all of these things that you see are absolutely open to all of you. We also have our weekly graphic at the top of our Facebook page that I update every single week. It tells you what's coming up for the week, what calls we have, what short training we're going to have, who's leading that short training, and any vital information that you need to know. Because you guys, I'm a planner. If I don't have everything laid out in front of me, something's going to get lost because we are literally nonstop all the time. So I just want you to know that those resources are there for you for a reason, to help you keep on track and know exactly what's coming up so you can plan your content for the month and you can be in the know as far as what trainings are available to you. Okay. Do we have any questions on that? Nope, we're good. All right, cool. I'm going to pass it off to our girl, Mindy. She's going to teach us about TEAMZY.
All right. So like Corey said, I started using TEAMZY after she brought it up at one point, and I was still a pretty new coach. I think it was actually during the August Team Cup when I started using it. And so that's when I had really gotten into like digging in with my inviting and following up. And I was using just like my normal planner, like you guys know I love my planners, but I would literally go through every single day and I would write down the name of every person that I invited by hand and then try to remember like who to go back and follow up with, who said they were interested, who said that they weren't interested, just to try to keep track. So when you're inviting or you're having conversations with or connections with maybe like 3 people a day or 5 people a day, then that's manageable. But as I was trying to expand upon that, I very quickly was like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to work. Like I need something to keep me better organized. And I'll also say this, I am probably, I know that you guys might not agree, but I am probably the biggest Excel nerd who has ever lived. I live and breathe Excel. It is that is the best invention. I don't care what anybody says, sliced bread, no way. And I went with TEAMZY instead of Excel because I was gonna like make up my own little thing, and I was all super excited about it. And then Corey mentioned it like on a call. Geez, it was like back in the summer, and I was like, well, I'm gonna check it out. And they had like a 30-day free trial, and by like day 3, I like bought a year subscription to it. Like I was like, okay, I need this in my life. There's like Google, I think it's called Google Streaks, and there's like some other things like that too that are similar, but I like TEAMZY. And when we get into it, I'm going to show, there's just like a quick little 3-minute video that the I guess he's the CEO, but the guy who does it talks about what it is. And then I'll go through like how I do a power hour using it. But the thing that really like stuck with me when I was first looking at it and first got into it is that the basis of it is building those relationships and building the connections. So there's training that's incorporated in it, but it essentially like teaches you how to reach out to somebody who maybe is a lot like an old friend that you haven't talked to in a long time, or maybe a new connection, and start that conversation and how to get to know that person, how to talk to that person to understand their goals, how to best approach when you are ready for the invite. So there's like this whole other piece to it that is just training you how to utilize the tool to basically be a better person, be a better friend, be a better coach. So I liked that part of it too. And that was kind of why I decided to go with that versus like the Google Streak or something like that, where it was a tool that's going to do very similar functionally, but maybe doesn't have as much of the background training piece that was really like, I didn't want to just be throwing invites out there and have like that weird, awkward, like I'm just a salesperson feeling. So this kind of makes it a lot more personal. So let's see if we can figure out how I can share my screen. Okay, it says host disabled participant screen sharing. I don't know if you're able to.
Let me see. Can you do it now?
Oh, yep, I believe so. Okay. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yep, you're good.
Thumbs up or something. Okay. All right. So this is what my TEAMZY dashboard looks like. So before I jump into how I utilize this for a power hour, I am just going to show the quick little 3-minute video that's the tour. And again, it's totally up to you what tool you use, but I just feel very comfortable with this tool. I like how it's organized. I like how it's structured. I like that you develop your why. You're able to keep track of your income growth and set your goals. So there's just a lot of like background things that I like, but I'm going to go ahead and start with this here.
Mindy, can you unmute it? Because we can't, is it muted?
Oh,
No, it is. For whatever reason, we can't hear it.
you can't hear it? Let me see. Wonder if I go full screen, if that makes a difference or not. I doubt it. Do you hear it or no? No. Okay.
No, like there's a little bit of feedback, but unless somebody else can hear it, I can't.
Okay. All right, we'll skip that part then.
You guys can actually go to TEAMZY and you should be able to watch it before you even.
Yeah, it's like that little link right there is right to a YouTube that's public, like that little like commercial, I guess. So I can send that link out too, or put it in the comments here. But it just kind of gives a quick overview of, like I said, the background basis for how it is meant to be relational, and that's kind of how it works. So again, this is my dashboard that I use it every morning. So you can see where I'm kind of already partially through my day here. So what it does, what it allows you to do is you can import your contact list, let's say from Facebook, or you can add people just one at a time. So when I initially set it up, I imported my entire list. And then now what I'll do is I will add people one at a time, just as I get new friend requests, or if I request somebody, and I'll add those contacts. Now, when I do that, that will fall over here, and it's kind of cut off for me, but in this area that is let me see if I can move this over. That is my ads. So over, you can see I had 7 ads today. And then from there, it's breaking down my people that are what's called my team into prospects, customers, coaches, and then follow-ups once you make that initial, or if you have an invite that you've put out. So the way that I will do it is I'll come in the morning, and the first thing I'll do is I will go to my Facebook and I start with my ads, and I will look to see, do I have any new friend requests that are out there that I want to include or bring in. So see an example here. So I basically just toggle over to Facebook, and I'm going to close some of these windows. Corey's in the background here. Let's see, move my screen over here too. So I know I have, so this lady here, Carol Ann Howell, has sent me a friend request. So what I'm going to do is confirm her, and I'm going to come over here to TEAMZY then, and I'm going to add a contact, and her name was Carol, and I believe it was, and I'll have to go back and double check. And I'm going to say create contact. Now for me, the next thing that I do is I will go right in with my initial contact. So over here, then you're able to put in different details for either a connection and what does that connection look like, if there's a follow-up scheduled, if that has turned into a sale, anything like that. So I'm going to come in here and say connect. And I am going to, it was today, I'm going to choose a Facebook message for my initial connection. And it gives you, again, a whole list of things to choose from. But we're going to go with a Facebook message. Now, another thing about it that I really like is it will come with some scripts that are already created that you can use. And again, these are meant to be very relational, very conversational, or you can create your own. So if I go here to scripts, I'm going to go to my scripts, and I have one here that is a new friends is what I call it. And I think this is the same one that I shared the other day in our text thread. And so basically this says, you know, good morning. It's nice to connect with you. I'm going to introduce myself quickly. And I tell a little bit about myself, a little bit about what I do, and then ask that person about them. So this is just initially opening that door to this new connection. So I'm going to take that, and it's really easy. And I'm going to copy that script. And this is, again, my initial message to most people. I'm going to paste it into here. And at this time, it's not a share. So I'm not inviting somebody to a challenge group. I'm not inviting them to a business opportunity or to try a product. This is purely just to connect. I'm reaching out to this person, just say, hey, it's nice to meet you. And I am going to, I still have that saved in my clipboard as a copy. So I'm going to come over back here to Facebook, and I'm going to find Carol. And my computer's kind of slow too. I don't know if that's, and then there she is right there. And it's going to say that we're now friends, and I'm going to come in here and paste that in. And I don't want to say good morning because it's not the morning right now. So maybe I'm going to say, hey, Carol. And then the rest of it's nice to meet you. I'm going to introduce myself, and I'm going to go ahead and hit send there. Then I'm going to come back over to TEAMZY, and I'm going to log this connect. So when I go back to my dashboard, now it's going to tell me that I now have 8 ads for today. And then if I search for Carol again, I can see here was my most recent activity with this person. It's going to show the day. So it's going to log all of that information. So maybe Carol responds back, hey, it's nice to meet you too, and gives me a little bit of information. It kind of starts that conversation. I can keep track of all of that here. So let's say something happens too and my Facebook crashes and I lose all of my contacts. I have all of those people that I've been having conversations with, or maybe that I've invited, or that are even people that have been customers in the past who went away or new customers that I maybe don't know that well yet. I have all that information here, and all of our messages are saved as well. So that just kind of gives me something else that's a little bit more of a kind of like a backup. Like I'm almost like I'm backing up my conversations. And I have the world's absolute worst memory. So I need to be able to go back and remember, okay, well, what was I talking about with this person? It's terrible. My sisters tell me all the time, like, how do you not remember things that happened when we were kids? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I just can't remember. So this is really helpful to me to have this. So then the next thing I do is once I'm finished with all of my ads, then I will go in and I will start with my connects. So I have some connects already just from the new people that I've added, but also, so under prospects here, there's going to be a continued list that's all the people that are on that I have logged into here or that I have as contacts in here. And I think I have just over 1,000 or so, or maybe 1,100. And it is going to just, there's an algorithm in the background where it is going to just constantly keep that list fresh. So let's say I have this person here and I want to reach out and just say, hey, how's your day? You know, what have you been up to? If I'm not sure what to say or I'm kind of stuck, I can come in here and say, okay, let me find a script. And maybe this one, hey, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome. Like that's a just very easy reach out to somebody. How's it going? Again, you can write your own if this doesn't sound like how you talk, or maybe you want to start with something like this, but you want to add a couple sentences because you know that this person has something going on in their life and you want to bring that up. You can add all of that in. And again, I log it here and then I will throw it into a message or a text message too. I do a lot of text messages also, and I will log those conversations as well. And so then as you're doing those connections, you'll start to see them populate here in the prospects bubble. There's also one for customers, and what this is going to do is obviously the more customers that you have and you're able to categorize the people that are on your team or in your contact list, the more you're going to have here. So I've reached out to 2 so far today. There's 2 more on my list. Now, if I were to go in and send a message to one of these 2, another one is going to populate right behind that. So it's always going to keep that list fresh. And then the same thing with coaches. And the thing I like about coaches, and I looked at this before I came in, is that when you have your coaches in here, so like I'm friends with all of you on Facebook or most of you on Facebook so far, I can put you in here also as a coach and just not say that you're my personally sponsored coach, but that you're a fellow coach. So I've met quite a few girls also who aren't even on our team, but are Beachbody coaches also, that we will maybe chat about like 9-week control freak or different things like that. I had one girl that was like, hey, we're looking for a 4th for our team cup. Do you have anybody who's not on a team yet? You know, things like that. That I will put in there. So when I go to coaches, like I have Corey's in here. So like this is a reminder. Hey, reach out to my upline, say, hey, what's going on? How are you doing? You know, because it shouldn't just be you reaching out to your downline either. You can reach out laterally, you can reach out to your upline. But I keep everybody in here that that is in the coach network with us as well, that I know of, because sometimes somebody just needs hey, how's your day? Are you doing okay? How's it going? So this is just a good reminder for people who are both my personally sponsored coaches, but then also others outside of that too, to just check in and see what's going on. And same thing, I would come here, I might type a message out. A lot of times I'm not a really good typist either. I can't spell for shit. And I type like with 2 fingers, like it's terrible. So I will type my messages a lot of times in here first and spell check them and anything else like that, and then paste it into the actual message that I'm going to send it in, just so that especially because it's 4:00 in the morning too. So then it's even worse. So I use this little window here to proofread before I send stuff out as well. So let's say I'm going to send Corey a message, and I'm just going to say, hey, how are you? I'm going to don't ever send a message like this. Are you interested? Oh, Lord. In joining my group. I would never do this without some sort of additional conversation or something else. It won't even give me a thing because it's so bad spelled. So we're just going to leave it like that for the sake of time. So let's say this is an invite. I'm inviting Corey. So I'm going to say I invited her to the challenge group. And TEAMZY is going to come up and it's going to say, okay, is there any kind of reminder or note or next step or anything like that? So I may leave myself a note because again, I don't really remember things very well. So I might put something here that this person has asked me to check back in a month. And this is my check-in or whatever the case is. Or maybe this person just had surgery the last time that I talked to them, and I knew I was going to check back in with them after their surgery just to see if they were interested in joining. So you can put any kind of note like that in there. And what TEAMZY is going to do is automatically come up and pre-populate a follow-up. And that is probably one of the areas that I struggle the most is follow-ups. I mean, obviously I have 41 that I need to do. But that's also a good reminder because you will hear said very often, the fortunes in the follow-up. So like Corey was saying earlier also is you want to, especially for the people who maybe kind of put that wall up right away, you want to show that you are genuine and that you do care about them and you do care about their wellness, whether they're part of your team or not. So you want to make sure that you're following up. So when you do a challenge group, it's going to automatically go in as 2 days, but you can click on it and you can change it. Sometimes what I'll do is if I send an invite to somebody and I follow up in 2 days and I don't hear from them, they don't respond, I'll still put an additional follow-up in, but I might make it for 2 months from now. So that's a reminder for me that in case they don't just come up on my prospects list, maybe it's a person who asked for information and then they ghosted me and I want to make sure that I follow up, but I don't want to follow up 2 days from now. Maybe I want to follow up a month from now. So you do have the option to change that date in there, just again, as a reminder. So move this over here. So let's say I go ahead and I send this and I'm going to log that connect. Now I can see, oh, and then there's a dashboard down here as well. I don't want to get into that too much. So now my coaches is cleared. Now tomorrow when I come in, there will be additional ones in here, but since there was only one in there for today, that is now clear. So the next thing on my dashboard then is I go to my follow-up. So I've done my new friends or my ads. I've done my connects for the day, and you can set those targets also, and you can change those targets depending on what your business goals are. And I've done some invites for the day. So now I want to switch over to my follow-ups. So again, this is going to be everybody who I invited that I had set at that 2-day follow-up. It could be people that I set for a month ago. I set them up to follow up. It's whatever's on there that you had put in. My customers are on here, my coaches, other coaches are on here. So if I come down here to, it's going to be cut off, but Corey's would be just down here. I would have to click to see more. It must be cutting it off after 40. So hers would be down there where I could come in then and see, okay, I'm going to follow up with her in a couple of days. And I have all that information. And again, I can see previous activity if I need a refresher, if there's any kind of details. So you can put people's birthdays in there, things like that. So these are all just good little reminders as you're out there, either adding people to your network or you're reaching out or you have your prospects or your people that are interested, that you don't want to lose track of that conversation. Because the other thing I would do too, besides just writing it in my planner, is I would also try to take my phone and scroll back down through like my messenger and see like, okay, well, who were the people 3 days ago that I had talked to that I want to now follow up with? And it was way too hard to manage. So this for me has been a lifesaver. It keeps me super organized. It keeps me on track. I use this, like I said, for my power hour, especially when I'm really getting into, I have a list of people maybe that I know that I want to invite, or maybe I'm going through my stories and I'm seeing who's interacted with my stories, who's interacted with my posts, and I can just type a person's name in here and pull them up and send them an invite. So maybe it is somebody who's clicked on a poll or who has liked a post, or I said, drop an emoji if you're interested, and they dropped the emoji, and I want to go back in and invite them. So you can type those people in and find them as well, and send your invites out pretty quickly and pretty efficiently, especially if you're trying to fit in your power hour into a true traditional hour, or maybe it's broken into 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 20 minutes there, and you want to use every last second of your time to stay on task. And normally what I'll do, when we talked about this, I think in a previous call too, is I will literally set a timer on my phone. Okay, my new friends or adding people, I'm going to spend 10 minutes, and I'll set that timer for 10 minutes, and I'll go through and do that. So regardless if I hit my goal or not, in my first power hour, I want to make sure that I get through every single thing that's on my list, my connections, my invites, my follow-ups. So I'll set my timer on my phone for a specific period of time. And then what I do is, once that power hour is over and it's time to work out, now I know, okay, what do I have to finish later tonight? Because it's all right here in front of me in my dashboard with how far did I get for the day, according to what I wanted to try to do. So I will go ahead and stop sharing because we're getting close on time, and see if anybody has any questions. Hopefully that was helpful. Again, it's up to you if that's your cup of tea or not. I just know for me, it's super helpful. So any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I downloaded that and I love TEAMZY. Do you, like, if they respond to you, do you put like their responses in there, or like
Mhm.
what do you do? Because like today, like I know I've had long conversations with lots of people. Do you just like put like notes in there, or do you put like the whole conversation in there?
What Me personally, what I will normally do is I will pull up whatever I had initially sent on that day. And if it's on the same day, I will just copy that whole conversation and put it in there in that same string. So I can open that box back up and then paste their response, my response from there. Now, if it's a few days later, then I'll just put it in as a new connect, and then I'll have that in there. And
Okay,
I don't know, Caitlin might do it different, Corey might do it different, but that's just how I do it.
cool. Thanks.
Any other questions? Anything? All right. Okay, well, all you Team Cup girls, good luck. Let's kill it. Let's win a shirt. Help some people.
You just win that Theragun or whatever. Get on it. I looked those up today on a hockey website. Those are $300 a piece.
Holy
That
smokes.
massage gun I just got. It's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, let's I'm gonna actually stop recording.